The Woman in the Window. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In this video we are going to be reviewing The Woman in the Window, which just got released by Netflix. Originally it was supposed to have a theatrical release all the way back in 2019, but then got delayed and then got further delayed due to the pandemic and has now finally been released by Netflix. Now this is a movie from Wright and is also based on the novel of the same name by A.J. Finn and is also loosely adapted from the popular Hitchcock movie Rear Window, except this time it focuses on a woman who is agoraphobic, which means she has an anxiety about leaving her house and going outside. I mean, it had a really interesting plot and premise, and some moments really did keep you guessing. That being said, you know, there were some other moments that were pretty boring as well, but I really don't think that it deserved all the hate and criticism that it's been receiving over the weekend. But you know, that being said, I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, the film centres on the lead character of Anna, who is a child psychologist that is currently homebound and takes a lot of medication and a lot of alcohol to deal with her anxiety. She also often spies on her new neighbours through her window and one day believes that she has witnessed a murder, and so the film explores whether or not this is true and whether or not she can prove it. So from a positive point of view, the thing that I really love about psychological thrillers is that A, they are really character-centric, and also that they really deal and focus on trauma so that you can really understand what got this character to this place, which is just really, really interestingly explored in this film, and the murder mystery angle in this film is really, really intriguing as well. And you are also questioning yourself as a viewer whether or not you can actually trust the narrator, and actually is their perception a true form of reality, or are they hallucinating? Are they seeing what they want to see? So that's really, really interesting. And like I said, it's really suspenseful as well. This lady is living in this massive mansion all on her own. Of course, she has a tenant in there as well, but sometimes she is thinking that there is another presence in this building as well, which is really, really interesting. And also it's really, really timely in terms of seeing the mental impact of staying at home for a long time, for example in lockdown, is going to have on a person's mental health. From a negative point of view though, I would say certain scenes are very drugged out, and as such it can feel a little bit boring at certain moments as well. Like I said, there are some really nice suspenseful moments in there, but they definitely could have made a lot more of those. And like I said before as well, it is very Amy Adams and a character-centric focused, and as such some of the other characters definitely do take a back seat, and they could have explored that a lot more as well, as some of these characters are really, really interesting. But you know, that being said, from a storyline point of view, I actually think The Woman in the Window is pretty decent. So from a casting character point of view, they've actually got some brilliant names associated with this film, so let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Amy Adams, who is playing the character of Anna. She does such a good job in terms of really believing the paranoia and the anxiety that this character is going under, and the impact of staying at home with this condition, what is actually happening to her mental state. And Amy Adams just does such a good job in carrying this movie. Like I said, she's pretty much in every single scene of this film. She just does such a good job in terms of connecting with the audience, especially towards the final act of this movie where nobody is believing her and people are pretty much ridiculing her as well. You can really feel sympathy for this character as well. Next up we have Gary Oldman, who is playing the character of Alistair. He is here from the Harry Potter series playing a very different type of character, and Anna is convinced that he is the person that killed his wife. Next up we have Julianne Moore, who isn't in this film that much, but she just does such a good performance herself in terms of playing the wife of the Alistair character. We then have her son Ethan in this film as well, which the Anna character really connects with, especially as she is a child psychologist and she really wants to protect this character, especially against the big bad wolf Alistair character that she perceives is a murderer. We then have Wyatt Russell from Falcon and the Winter Soldier playing the David character, who is a tenant in Anna's apartment, and he is actually a really interesting character. You find out that he is a lot more layered, a lot more complicated, and is another suspicious person in this film as well, and he just does such a good job in bringing the David character to life. And also from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we also have Mackie playing the Edward character, who is the husband to the Anna character, and she is often calling him, speaking to him and her daughter, telling them all about what's happening from the window. So it's a really interesting cast and a pretty interesting premise in this movie. So from a visuals point of view, they are very dark and very creepy. You know, it's not got magical powers or anything supernatural happening in here. It's very focused and actually does a really good job in terms of making you feel really confined in the world that Anna is in, locked up in her house, so you can really connect with that. And it's also really interesting as well as from the audience's point of view, you're really questioning whether or not you can actually trust Anna's narrative. And so it's really, really interesting as you really connect with this character and in this world of the woman in the window. So from a comparison point of view, like I said, it's obviously based on the novel of the same name by A.J. Finn, but it's definitely paying homage and taking a lot of inspiration from Hitchcock's Rear Window, and you really do feel connected with this character, and you really do feel a lot of sympathy for this character as well. From a psychological thriller point of view, there are other movies within this genre that you can definitely compare it to, such as Sightless, such as Run, such as Alone, such as Room, and such as Oxygen as well. So quite a lot of recently released psychological thriller movies you can definitely compare to The Woman in the Window, but like I said before, it definitely does do its own thing as well. So overall, I have to say, I actually enjoyed The Woman in the Window a lot more than I thought I would have done, especially based on the negative criticism that this film is receiving. I mean, look, it's not perfect, but that being said, it is a pretty decent watch as well. Brilliant performances, a really intriguing plot, and I think an actually pretty satisfying conclusion in this film as well. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.